Hey guys, Jay here. How's it going? Welcome to the hobby update for September 22nd, 2022. So, it's been a week since the last hobby update. I've been working on some videos on the side. I know I showed off a model that I had been working on in the past that I was trying to get ready for a video. Well, unfortunately, I needed to finish the model up more quickly than I could shoot the video for it for my event on Saturday. And so I finished it up. Along with it, I got some other models done. So let me show off a couple of those models real quick. So this is Commander Autonomous and Standard Bearer. This is a minimum unit of shock troopers with officer. I got these guys done, and then here's the tanker I was showing off. I got these guys done for the event I played on this past Saturday. It was a steamroller escalation event. Basically, you start with 25 point lists, you expand to 50 points, and then to 75 points over 3 rounds. So as I was saying, this is Autonomous and Standard Bearer. This is sort of the Khador, Man of War officer unit, character officer unit. This is a unit of shock troopers with a minimum unit of shock troopers and officer. Going forward, this is likely the size of the unit it's going to be for Mark III, so it's a happy accent. I happen to be painting one. I have another one that's going to be red that I'm going to be working on here in the future. And then, of course, this tanker. This is my second suppression tanker for Khador. So yeah, that's what I got done before this past weekend. And then after the event, I came home and was just sort of putzing around and decided that I wanted to try something else different this week. I'm currently playing. We're in week 5 of a. We're in week 5 of a challenge league for the end of Mark III, and so you're trying to achieve a bunch of different goals, play different types of formats and games, and use different armies, get models painted, do different things like that. There's one more week left, obviously, and so for week 5, I decided that I wanted to play Mercs, but I haven't ever had a fully painted Mercs army, and so I decided to get some work done on some Merc stuff so that I could start playing them this week. And to that end, I was able to get several of the jack, well, a lot of the jack, almost all the jacks that I have currently painted up. And so let me show you some pictures of those. All right, so first things first, we've got 2 different schemes. I've got some pirates and I've got some regular mercenary jacks. So this is a rover. I still need to finish up his base a little bit. You'll see all these guys need to have some almost all these guys need to have some basing done. I just need to put a little bit of a dry brush on this base and add some static grass to it. I'm still trying to decide what kind of static grass I want to use. Maybe some rocks or something. So this is a rover. This is the sort of green base mercenary jack scheme. Here's a mangler, also painted in that scheme. His base also needs a little bit of work. But yeah, I think they turned out pretty good. It's a little bit of a quick paint job, but definitely looks good. I also have 2 Renegades. These are the FA2 light jack. They're not character, but they're specific to Magnus. Magnus is the only caster that can take them. They're pretty cool. They have a once per game shot with a range 14, POW 16, AoE 4 knockdown gun, and then their buzzsaws have crit shred and sustained attack, which is pretty cool. They also are the only Merc Jack to have arc nodes. And finally, in that green scheme, we have this is a Talon. So this is actually a converted Talon. It's based upon the custom Jack that was in the Undercity box set. I just put a spear on it and a little bit and a different head. It's a very cool model. And you'll see that this is the basis of the body style for the pirate light Merc light stuff. But it has the legs of of one of this chassis Jack. So yeah, all right, very cool model. Good conversion. I just need to like all the rest of them, I need to touch up their bases. All right, so then here are my pirates. So the first things first. This light jack is pretty cool. He's got a net that he can throw and knock models down. AoE 3, I believe, and then the 200 reach spear is 6 points. Very cool Jack. It took me a while to figure out this scheme. I originally had just painted them in this sort of lighter color, but the model didn't pop, and so it took me a while to figure out this sort of red, brown, rusty accent color that sort of separates the browns and gives them some depth. I also decided, unlike the mercs, the green mercs, to add a little bit of patina to the bronze sections to make them look like they've been wet and around water. So then we've got this one. This one's 8 points. It's got a pistol claw and a scythe, and I believe it has dodge. It's pretty cool little merc jack. This is Shay's character jack. You can see I went with a little different scheme. I went with this sort of darker black scheme that I use on some of my models. I wanted it to stand out and be a little different. And his axe cannon and axe are both very cool weapons. The skulls, very cool jack. And so I have in here, so this is a Swabber. It is it actually has 2 ranged attacks. It has both this ranged harpoon pull, and then it also has a range 12 POW 14 cannon in its shield. And then it has a shield melee bash attack. This is one of the newer, along with these 2 lights. These are some of the newer jacks that came out with the little Merc update that happened at the end of the CID cycle. This is probably the most popular of all of the new jacks for the Mercs, and it's a very cool jack. I also have a Mariner. So I've had this Mariner for a little while. It's not a full metal one. It has a resin body, so I got it a couple years ago. It's a very cool jack. I really like what it does. It's got a range 15 POW 14 AoE 4 gun, but it needs to have a warrior model within an inch of it to fire it. Needs to load it because it's carrying it, but it can't load it itself. But then it also has Thresher, which is a really cool ability, like the Mangler. All right, and then finally, last but not least, I've got 2 of these heavies. So it's a cheap, fast melee heavy for pirates. And you can see that the arms are a little bit flexible. These are actually from Undercity as well. If I put these guys side by side like this, it really would be tough to tell that this is a rubberized plastic and this is a resonant metal jack. So they look great. All right. So also beyond that, I also was able to get a little work done. They're not finished, but I have a bunch of mercenary models that are at playable now. And so first things first, have been working on the Princess from Riot Quest. This is the Orb Princess, and then Magnus 1. So these 2 need to get highlighted now. They've been base coated and washed and have some shade on them. I just need to do some highlights. Actually, all of these models just need to have some highlights done to them, and they'll be good to go and ready to play. So this is over the weekend. This is definitely, or maybe even today, this is something I want to work on. I also have these 2. So this is these are 2 of my favorite characters, and I'm spacing on names of stuff right now. I just need to work on their bases, do a little highlight, and they'll be finished up. I've got pretty sure I think his name is Harrison Gibbs. He's a Laylee's trencher that has in the fluff he used to be a cook, and when Signar evacuated Lael, when Khador invaded, him and some of his companions were left behind, and he found a dead lieutenant's gear and put it on and sort of created a resistance. But since he's a cook, one of his skills is that he's able to provide comfort to the fallen soldiers during the battle. And so he's a rule called Hot Meal, where he can basically turn the cat into a meal and heal all of the warrior models in his command range. And to show that doing that, I've magnetized the cat to a shield, and so that I can put the cat on and off when he's used the ability, which I think is pretty cool. And the cat actually does come with the model. Here are 2 more models I have. So this is a sort of a Laylee's Infiltrator. She has ambush and like some thrown knives. And then this is the mini crate Scylla Swishnailer model. Sexy Scylla, I think is what her name was. And both of them just need to have a little bit of base work done and some highlights. This is a Laylee's Gun Mage unit. Once again, bases finished and some highlights done to them. So this is what I'll be working on this week, probably. I also have some Rulik mercs and things that I need to do a lot more to. And then I also want to finish these guys. So this is a unit of the Protectorate Paladin Initiates. So in the Laylee's Resistance theme in Mark III, you could use 2 units, 2 squads of guys from either Signar, Crucible Guard, or Menoth in your... and they'd count as friendly Laylee's Resistance models. And these guys are one of the 2 units I also use a unit acquire in my Ashland, in one of my Ashland lists. And I also have, this is my 3rd unit of these guys I've been working on. The first 2 are in the silver armor scheme of my paladins from my protected army. These guys are in the darker scheme, which I use for models that I tend to use, was using in Hearts of Darkness for Infernals. And they often saw field in that army, and so I wanted to finish all that stuff up if I possibly could, even though I don't think Hard Darkness is going to exist in Mark IV. Well, that's all I have to share with you today. Hopefully, I'll have some new models to show off next week, and I'm also working on some videos in the background. One of the first videos I want to do is a discussion about what we know about Mark IV, and what people should expect with the October release. It's not going to be a full release. It's just the start of the beta. And then I also want to discuss the legacy armies that we know are going to be in Prime, and what I think will be in them and won't be in them going forward. And I'll be doing a series of videos on that leading up to the release of the app at the end of October. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. This has been Jay with 24 Hour Miniatures. Bye.